Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome back. This is the centrifugal, a complete set of a centrifugal pump in which we will be taking for the upcoming 3 to 4 or maybe 5 weeks. We will be explaining this part as much as possible. Unfortunately, as I said, we don't have maybe the credibility to go and check these things and open these things by our bare hands, but I will try to explain it as much as possible as I could, inshallah bismillah. So we will be explaining one by one, starting from the left side. Now, this is the motor side. This whole area is the motor side, and this is the coupling. This is the pump side, right? Centrifugal pump, it's commonly used in industry, as we have said also before. 60-70% of the plant equipment are a centrifugal pump because of their simplicity to use and operate, as availability of spare parts, and for sure the maintenance and their low cost. So centrifugal pumps are used to deliver high volume in comparison to, for example, to a gear pump or to a piston pump. Okay, so back again. Here we have the motor. Motor covers from the outside by means of fins. These are the cooling system, and we have a fan over here to drive the air inside these fins in order to cool. This is the junction box in which it will be connected to wires to electricity. These we consider it as the driver side. This is the driven side. The driver side could be a turbine or a generator or a motor, as electrical motor as we have here. Just a kind of a point for you to understand that if we have a misalignment between these two parts, this is the only part that moves. This is the only part that allows to be moved because it's connected only through one wire to the electrical plug. But in the other side here, if you wanted to shift or we have some kind of a misalignment that we need to correct, it's so difficult because it will be connected through some pipes and it will be quite hard to be adjusted. This is just a clear point, so I don't forget. Again, motor side, driver side, junction box. This is the motor. We have two shafts, one shaft coming from the motor side, and the other side is the pump shaft. In between them, we have something called coupling. Coupling connects two shafts together. Now, for coupling, we said that coupling are coming into two different types, either the rigid or flexible coupling. So this part in here is black one is rubber, so it is a flexible type. What is the difference between rigid and flexible coupling? For sure, rigid coupling are very strong and they don't accommodate any slight misalignment. That means if you have some kind of a misalignment, the center lines between the two shafts are not equal. After some time, they will break. So using a flexible coupling will accommodate some of these misalignment, whether it was angular, parallel, or at an angle, or mixed between the angular and the parallel misalignment. This is the shaft key to secure the coupling with the rotating parts so they don't slip. And this is the complete pump side. This area over here we call it as a bearing housing. This is the bearing housing. This is total area, we call it as casing, discharge, and suction. Suction is bigger than discharge because we are saying we're changing kinetic energy into a potential energy, as we have given some example for the hose. We said the water hose that you use, if you press the head, squeeze the head, the cross-section area will be decreased, volume will decrease, but we have higher pressure. So we said that pressure and volume acting vice versa. Now this type of casing we call it as a volute casing, and in the questions I gave you, we explain what is the difference between the volute and diffuser casing. Okay, so again we have the bearing housing. Inside of here we have something called stuffing box. Stuffing box, it's the part responsible for controlling the leakage. So it contains the sealing elements, and we will see inshallah in the upcoming videos what are these. And inside of here now the shaft will be extended up to this area. In here we have the impeller. This type of mounting we call it an overhanged mounting, in which we have two bearings in one area and the impeller in one area. It's like an overhanged mounting. Other type of mounting to be discussed also later, it's we call it in between bearings, where we have one bearing on one side, the other bearing, or doesn't matter, but the number of bearings right and left side of the impellers are the same. So we call that it is what they call it, a centered mounting bearing, in which we have the impeller that comes in the center between the bearings. So this is generally the component. With upcoming classes, as I said, we will discuss these things in more details.